So something was brought to my attention last night, right after I did the video. I assume that the play-in games count for the team's win total, so that's where I got the 42 regular season wins plus the play-in game plus the 16 postseason games for the Lakers to win 59 games. Now, my brother over here, Rael Williams, told me last night that, hey man, the play-in stats, they're not officially counted. This is just a play-in tournament that doesn't count for the actual playoffs, and I haven't seen any official sourced link that validates this, that says that this is true. So I can't find the source of information for that. But if I can find a link that validates that fact, then I will pin it to the comment section of this video. This video, I wanted to talk about how the Lakers win total lines up, assuming that the play-in stats don't count. And it makes a lot of sense because if you add up the Lakers' win totals without including the play-in game against the Warriors, you get a total of 126 wins for the three-peat. Now, what's interesting about that is that Kobe Bryant he died on a date of 1-26, and so Kobe's death has everything to do with the Lakers' 126 win of the three-peat because LeBron's going to win his fifth ring, and that's the amount of rings that Kobe Bryant won. Now, if you were to include the play-in game, so if I go back to 68 wins from last year and I go to 42 plus the win in the play-in round, plus the 16 games in the postseason, what you get? What you get is a total of 127 wins if you do count the play-in tournament for the stats. And what's interesting about that is that the Sixers just got Gematria 127, so the Gematria lines up either way on whether you count the play-in series or not for the official stats. Hopefully someone can provide a link validating that fact. But I've noticed that the Lakers have won a total of 94 regular season games during the past couple years. It's Sixers, that's got Gematria of 94 and 31. The Lakers' first playoff loss would be playoff loss number 31. And so, technically, the Lakers enter the postseason with 42 wins, not including the play-in game, according to Rael Williams. So, they beat the Warriors, they face off against the Suns, they win their 46th win to clinch the first round series. Phoenix has got Gematria 46. The Lakers' 50th win would have them advance to the Western Conference Finals to face off against Utah. Utah's got Gematria 50. The Lakers' 54th win would clinch the Western Conference before taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, which is interesting because, once again, this has to do with Kobe Bryant. He's born at Philadelphia. Kobe Bean Bryant having Gematria 54, the 54th win for the Lakers, not including the play-in game, clinches the Western Conference title, meaning that the Lakers face off against the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA Finals. The first win of the NBA Finals, nonetheless, not including the playoff win, would be the 55th game. And the Lakers' 58th victory to clinch the NBA Finals is very significant. Number one, these are all Masons that run the NBA. It's a scripted league. Freemasonry is Gematria 58. Los Angeles Lakers has Gematria 58. The one that makes the most sense is the fact that the Lakers' first title was clinched when they defeated the Miami Heat. So the Lakers defeated the Heat to win their last title. Win number 58 means they win the championship again for the repeat. This kind of has to do with clinching their first NBA championship. So that is my Gematria interpretation for 58 wins, tying in the clinching of the first championship with the clinching of the repeat. Funny how the Nuggets has Gematria of 126. So the Lakers defeat the Nuggets along the journey to yet another Western Conference championship and another three-peat. And they just ended the regular season against New Orleans. Now, we're going to take a look at the Eastern Conference. I sort of did the Western Conference in the first video. I already synced up the gematria of the conference records with the West, but for the sake of accurate information with the play-in series, I'm going to do it again. Clippers advance against the Dallas Mavericks, losing their 25th game against Kawhi. Utah Jazz can win their 31st game against Stephen Curry. Denver Nuggets win their 30th game before facing off against LeBron. The Clippers win their 32nd game against Utah Jazz. And the same can be said for win number 33 if that series does go 6 games. The Jazz. And for the Lakers, 29 plus 4 is 33. So the Lakers are going to enter the conference finals with 33 wins in the Western Conference, not including the play-in game before they face off against the Jazz. Win number 32 against Denver. Nuggets and LeBron both have the same gematria of 30, so the Lakers can win their 30th game against Denver Nuggets. Rematch of the Western Conference Finals. Rematch, 68-32. Denver, 68-32. Kobe Bryant rape accusations at the hotel in Colorado, so keep an eye out for that. So that's the Western Conference. This is a review. I want to include it in the video with not including the play-in tournament for the statistics. Breakdown of the East. 76ers win their 43rd game to become a champion of the Eastern Conference. Champion gematria 43. Kobe Bean Bryant as gematria 43, Philadelphia native. We see that lineup again. The Nets have 26 wins in the conference. They can face off against a team from the capital, Kevin Durant's birthplace of Washington, D.C. The Bucks get their revenge against the Heat. They win their 34th game against the Eastern Conference. You see how they have 30? That's gematria of Heat. And then, the Celtics are going to enter 37 wins. I covered that in the play-in video. They're going to lose to Philadelphia. And the New York Knicks in Atlanta. The New York Knicks defeat Atlanta. The Knicks face off against the 76ers. Who knows if the Knicks make it 6 games against the 76ers if they get a chance to win their 31st game against the Sixers. But I see Philadelphia defeating Boston, and then New York defeating both of their rivals en route to the Eastern Conference title. So the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets are going to be playing in the next round of the playoffs. The 76ers, 61 wins, would win the Eastern Conference. Their 62nd win can occur against, the guy trying to become Michael Jordan, which is LeBron James. I just have to remember last night quickly. So the Nets, who they face off in the next round. The Nets and the Bucks. Let's see who the 76ers face up. Do they face off against Brooklyn or do they face off against Milwaukee? That's a fantastic question. Who knows if Giannis gets over the hump this year? You can make a case for Milwaukee if the Nets are this year's LA Clippers. If they get, Clippers lost in the conference semifinals, what if this happens to Brooklyn again? You never know. So Mike Budenholzer can win his 40th game against Brooklyn. I will have to go with the upset of the Brooklyn Nets. Same old Nets again. And then we can see Milwaukee against the Sixers. Actually, let's go back. The Nets can win their 56th game of the year against the Bucks. You see that? Interesting. Very interesting. You just may have to go with Brooklyn, I think. The Philly defeats Brooklyn in the Western Conference Finals.